Hello, Brandon. Okay, I just thought it might be easier for me to do this walkthrough real quick. Okay, since I already have the living room open, let's go ahead and do that first. So, I've got a couple questions here, comments. I guess first let's start in this cabinet here. Did you want to do the 3/4 set in on the end here? Or how did you want to handle this wall to cabinet across here? And then, let's see here. Let me go into this unit so you can see. So I've got 3/4 of an inch below the door. Well, it's actually, I guess it's drawn about 7/8 because, oh, it's because I did a 3/4 below it and then it still has its 3 millimeters of reveal there. And then this is the same as all the other base cabinets here, with this, what they call front skirt here. And then on the inside, notice that it has this gap here. This gap is 1.2 inches roughly. So I can pivot around and look at the inside of this unit. So I actually have to add one more board here for attachment to the wall. It'll just be exactly that same height. I think I did like 3 inches here. But this allows you to have this space to feed stuff up to 1.2 inches wide around here. I think it'll work pretty good for routing all of your components and everything back in there. And then, let's see, the shelves. I'm thinking about doing the shelves like this. Instead of using the 3/4 Baltic, I also have a 1/2 inch 4x8 Baltic. Thinking about doing a mitered shelf like this. Notice I've got like an internal piece that kind of adds some structural integrity to it. That way I can miter this on the CNC, glue these parts together. We can have the CNC do this little dado here for the light. But then that gives me this gap right here to allow a 1/2 inch board stretched across the wall. And that way on each end, I can fit a 1/2 inch board, mount it to the sides of the wall. I can also do the same thing all the way across the back. Put that board all the way across the back. And basically just slide that shelf all the way onto my cleats all the way around. I think it might be pretty solid like that. The actual flexibility of this piece is going to be very low because of the way that it's constructed with the miter and this board and then this. Like, I mean, I feel like it's going to be a pretty solid shelf. Note that I've shifted it down to 11.5, and that's so that on my 48-inch sheet, I can still get my miters and my cuts and everything. Let me know if that's okay or if I absolutely have to go up to 12 inches. But most of the time, if you buy like a 12-inch material for your shelf, it's typically actually 11 1/4. And so I'm squeezing this to 11.5. Let me know what you think on that. On the sides, we've already got this section and this section attached with this section open for the electrical. My thought is that I can apply, let me go into this. I'm going to take this front piece right here. I'm just going to move it out of the way for now. Let's see here. Okay. So my thought is I can add some blocking down here. Oops. And then I can do the same thing up here. Add some blocking. That'll give me some stability for this panel. That'll allow me to attach this panel, attach these shelves firmly to this panel, and then leave this open. That way the electrician can do whatever he needs. He can reach in there. He's got 4¼ inches to reach in there and go from shelf to shelf to shelf, whatever he needs to do. I suppose if we need to, we could drill holes inside that panel. I guess we could do that, which this panel is actually already cut and over there at the house. But, during our installing of everything, we could drill holes if needed here and here. That way, at least that part's done before we go ahead and anchor these shelves here. I've got the wood top here coming out. Right now, it's just coming out just a little bit short of the end of this. I could bring it out a little bit further if you want. One of the measurements that I need to double check is this measurement from like right here to right here. Mostly because that'll dictate the depth of all this. So I have drawn some stuff for this upper section. So note that the grain direction on this is, going kind of like this, just like the shelves, which will make a nice clean dado for our light, which is at the same distance from the back wall, from here to here as from here to here. But what I'm thinking is, then this upper section, the grain, of course, starts going up. I think that's kind of unavoidable. I think it's probably acceptable to have gone from here to there. I think it's better than trying to do this piece in multiple pieces, especially since the way I'm drawing it, I'm basically sitting it on top of these panels that are already here. The rear wall panel, the rear back panel, and those panels. I'm literally just setting it down on top of it. Really hoping that it fits nice and snug all along here, all along here. Hopefully these panels are pretty flat with each other. The way I've drawn this panel is, let me go into just this piece right here. Okay, so this piece, I've got a 3/4 panel. I've done a little 45, but notice I've got a little notch there. And that will allow these pieces to kind of just sit flat on this right here. This is the one area that I have not applied one of those 1/8 inch reveals, and I'm not really sure how that would look because you can't do it on the miter, right? But would you put it just right here? You do have, that's the 1/8 inch reveal right there, showing the 1/8 inch. I think I've just gone like 1/8 wide by 3/16 deep is what I think I've got it all set as. Um, or does it need to just sit flat directly on there? Another consideration is all along the wall. Notice the wall, this is from my original laser scan. I feel like I'm probably going to laser scan this thing one more time before I cut these panels. After I've built this whole bottom section, I need to laser scan this one more time. I just don't entirely trust that I've not shifted left to right as I've been drawing this just over the time of working on all this. Theoretically, this right here represents your exact dimensions of your hole. Theoretically, it's not even straight here. I don't know if that's right or if my scan was just off there. Another thing is the center point is not truly in the center. It's just slightly off center. Which may or may not be an issue. I don't think it's an issue. We can roll with it, make it work. But for this door to operate well, Obviously, you want to be off of that ceiling line some. So do we like plan on one of those 3/4 gaps all the way around? Oh, hold on. We plan like, oops, sorry, my presenting tool here. Still getting used to it. So would we put like a 3/4 gap here and a 3/4 gap along here? All right, I mean, it seems safe to do it, but then you've got this right here with a real seriously mudded corner. So it would literally be like a radius. And from what if my scan is correct, if I scanned it all correctly, then that means this side did not have quite as mudded corner in this inside corner here. Um, anyways, that's that on this wall. Let me go to the kitchen. Let's see here. All right. Let me hide everything except for, what's this wall here? Wall 2 and 1. Hide everything but wall 2 and 1. There we go. Okay. 36 I'm not sure why I have 36 1/4. I could have sworn I already drew this at 36, but apparently I made it 36 1/4 somehow. Okay, anyways, so I need to make this 36. 36 wide. 0. That makes this 18. This 18. 0. And oh, I need to move it over. Make sure this is moved over. This is over. Okay, and then the toe kick, 36. My panel is not cooperating here. There's something was acting funny on it. Anyways, so I've got the panels going all the way to the floor. I've got a matching panel over here. If you zoom in right in here and enhance this, it has that same 3/4 reveal. Oops, not an arrow. All the way along here. All the way along here. But it does yield kind of a slightly weird thing right here. I don't know. I guess it's okay. Yeah, I guess it's okay. Now they're exactly the same. 36, 36. Make sure the toe kick is correct. And it just goes all the way to each panel. 36, 36. Got an 1.5 inch. You got your 3/4 panel, another 3/4 panel. I mean, it looks like it's probably pretty perfect with what you drew. Oh, this guy right here. We go into it. I'll open up the doors. Got the double panel. That way you've got the pre-finished on the inside. Got the birch on the outside, on the bottom. Just an applied panel. But then from the side profile, it's still right at, it's like 20. I think it's actually 24 exactly. So, yeah, 24 exactly, height-wise. The doors just overlap all of that in the bottom, which leaves you got an 8-foot panel, 96 exactly, a 24 unit. We got a 96 panel, so that leaves exactly 72 below it right here. Yeah. Anyways, now that all this is done, I can send this. I can pretty much send all this to the CNC as it is. The living room, I'll need to. I want to go back over there one more time and double check this distance on this end wall and see if my. I want to see if my. I think I've got 90. What do I have for my wall-to-wall shelves? Oh, 92 and 7/8. I want to see if that's accurate or if I'm just a hair off. That's I think it's probably pretty close. I want to double check, but then I'm figuring 5 inches for this upper section where it goes up. Um, yeah, I may have to adjust this. I don't know because this is slightly. This is what is this right here? 4 1/4. So I've got 4 1/4 up here, and it doesn't look like it right now, but if you draw a horizontal line, it is slightly off. So this may have to go down to 4 and something, but then, this is kind of using my laser scan, which might be slightly askew left to right. So I just wanted to double check all that before I start cutting these things. Let me know what you think on everything. Thank you.